and Tasty Cakes podcast. I'm Bert Lepore. He's Sammy of Monte Carlo. We're hanging here with Angry Mike D, and we talk about music, movies, and so much more.
All right, we're back. Another episode of Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes. This one, we are reviewing the new Judas Priest record, Invincible Shield. And when I looked at it, I thought originally it was Invisible Shield.
I think I thought that at first, too.
Yeah. But this is the Invincible Shield, which is the protector of heavy metal. And it protects you against all the bad pop music. And
yes, it does.
I don't know. I'm just thinking. If it was 1985, that's probably how they would sell it.
I'll tell you what, though. As simple as the album cover is, I love the colors. I love the way the album cover looks.
It is cool. Yeah.
It pops. And I guess from center right, the design was from Mark Wilkinson, the cover art. And I heard it. I didn't get the physical record yet, so I did hear there's a lot of cool like pictures in the in sleeve and stuff like that. So hopefully I'll be checking that out soon. But it's going for like I think the standard edition's like $14.95, the special edition's like $20, and the vinyl's like 40 something bucks. So the vinyl's kind of steep. Yeah, it's up there. It's double vinyl, but it's up there. I'm sure it's pretty, but it's a little expensive right now. I have to opt out for the CD.
Yeah.
Or unless you never know. Something you
get
can buy
a deal on Amazon.
It's hard for me to go back to the CD.
I don't mind the CD. Like I actually went back because if I go to some of these places and I go, oh, okay, I don't actually have a physical copy of this. Let me buy this or rebuy something. If it's like $2 and it's an old record I had that I traded in or gave away or just threw out because I got vinyl now, and I'll rebuy it sometimes if it's cheap. And then I put it on. I go, this is pretty cool. You open it up and go, oh, the booklet's kind of cool. Like, so it's weird because you forget, like we did with vinyl, you forget how cool it is sometimes. So you have
I hardly ever buy any physical content, to be totally honest. If it's like a smaller band,
like Starbenders, I know you bought that.
Yeah, I bought the vinyl of that, but like somebody like Tuck Smith, I'll like order his CD or the vinyl, or Vane has a pre-order, so I didn't order it yet, but I am going to order the CD and the vinyl. So things like that. But like a Judas Priest, I'm not like, I like Judas Priest. I'm a fan, but I'm not a fan.
You have to get it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hate to say it, but I do like the convenience of streaming.
I look at it this way, man. When the apocalypse happens and there's no more streaming and everything, at least I got a piece of my collection sitting there that I can't use because there's no power. Yeah. So
no, you're right. Yeah. What if
I can at least look at it and say, hey, this is a good album.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it happens. Well, it's weird. It's like I flip-flop. So I'll buy a vinyl if it's spur of the moment. I'll buy a vinyl if I see a deal. Same thing with the CD. It all depends. Sometimes I'm just in the mood. I want to buy something. I'm somewhere. I'm like, yeah, that looks cool. And I'll pick it up. And sometimes I'll buy a download. I'll even buy a download once in a while because I just want it. Like say the Ace Frehley record. I didn't get the physical record yet because for some reason I couldn't get it yet. But I did buy the download. So I bought
why would you buy it? Because you could listen to it on Spotify until you get it.
I could, but it's something I still want to have a copy of. Like you said.
Well, you know what they should do? Remember when CDs in the late 80s, early 90s, CDs, when they were really trying to push them, they used to put a bonus track on the CD.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see it often, but you would see it sometimes. But they should do that for physical content. Yeah. Like if you want to buy the CD or the vinyl, you get a bonus track or two.
Yeah.
They should, like this Judas Priest, the deluxe version where there's like 3 extra tracks. Yeah. They shouldn't put that on streaming sites. Put that on the physical version.
Right, where you can't get it.
I mean, or
send them to buy it.
Throw an embroidered patch in there or something.
Look at that, Dave. Look at we bought I think we both bought the special, not the special edition, but the double disc version of Destroyer when they re-put that out. And we got, which was great. Amazon, we paid the $30 or whatever it was, and we got everything that was on the big thing for as far as streaming goes. So that was really cool. But I mean, I think now if you buy a vinyl, and Amazon does do it with a lot of it, not all of it, but I think if you buy a vinyl record and they're hitting you for $30 or more for this vinyl record, or even 25, I think you should get the download with it. Or
Oh
a
yeah,
CD or a
yeah.
CD with it.
Most of them do, and
A lot
even
of them
inside, like the band will do it themselves off their website now these days. But
Or maybe
you know,
maybe like a 20% promo code for merch on their website, or
something.
they should do something, especially for the CDs, because I mean,
The vinyl
I've been hearing like CDs are actually starting
going
to
up.
pick up a
They're
little
going
bit,
up again.
but
Yep.
yeah, put something bonus. I mean, I don't understand why there's a deluxe version on streaming. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Why is that deluxe?
Right.
It shouldn't be, but I just think it's pure laziness from the record label that, oh, there's a deluxe version CD, so we're just going to upload everything that
Right.
whole
That should be the physical thing.
Yeah.
That should be the collector's thing that you buy physically, right? So
Yeah, I think that's a total fuck up, I think, for them
it'll
to
make
put
people
that
want to buy. I
on
mean, look at
streaming.
Ace Frehley, dude. I mean, it's a little ridiculous, but he just put out that last record out with a bunch of different album covers. And
Yeah, that'll make people buy it.
his fans will buy it. They'll buy
Yeah.
if there's 8 of them, they're going to buy at least 4 of them or have to.
I
have
look at
all
that
in.
as kind of cheesy though. But
It's
Well,
it's a
yeah,
collector's thing, but
I want the red color vinyl. You know, maybe
Yeah.
Mike wants the white and black swirl, or
Right.
you know, there's people that are like that.
But for the most part, you Kiss fans are buying them all. So
Yeah, there's people
You
out there
know.
that will. Yeah.
Once upon a time, I would, not now. But
Yeah.
it's weird. It's like I always go, I'm good with the plain black vinyl. But let me tell you, when I get something that's the same price that has that cool color thing, man, it looks great.
I got the rock and roll over. It's orange vinyl.
It looks great.
It does
probably
look pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm still a sucker for the black vinyl. Like if I could get it in black, I'm probably going to get it in black.
Yeah, I mean, I
like the clear vinyl.
The clear's.
I mean, they look great, but it's like I always feel that the black vinyl probably sounds the best, and I think that's just something that's in my head.
I think there used to be a thing with that. Now I don't think there's a difference now, but there used to be a thing where like if you have a picture disc, it don't sound good. Now I mean, I have an Avatar one, it sounds great.
I got a couple of picture discs. Oof,
I prefer the old fashioned thin vinyl with all the snap, crackles, and pops.
Yeah.
That 180 gram, I don't care. I'd rather get the original one.
I think that's kind of gimmicky in a way too, though. I don't know.
The thicker,
the 180 grams. It's thicker, but it's like I know it's more sturdy and everything, but it just I don't know. I think it makes the shelf like too heavy. Like you got to watch now because you can't really load your shelf up with it. It's going to freaking break it.
It does.
Yeah,
it's heavy.
Yeah, it kind of hurts like the vinyl experience because it is weighted heavy. It is heavier and it doesn't have that nostalgic feel. That's just me being a weirdo.
Right.
The vinyl was always like really thin and lightweight. And,
I mean, some of them are really heavy.
And the sound, that's what I like about it. Like I don't listen to it for superior quality and all this with the new 180 gram or whatever.
But
I don't
you got to realize though, with a lot of the 180 grams now, where you have a record that might have not been 2 vinyls instead of 1 vinyl, they might only put 3 songs on one side, so the separation you get the better quality sound. I'm with you. When I first started collecting vinyl again, I'm like, oh, I miss the old eerie kind of sound and the pops. But once you put on a clean one, you're like, wow, it's just, I mean, it's weird. But the minus thing with the vinyl thing is, like I said, we're all happy with the vinyl. Then you go, man, I got to get up and change it now. So it's like that. There is convenient stuff. Like as much as I buy stuff and I still buy the vinyl, I'll buy a CD once in a while. I'll even buy the download. I'll still probably use Spotify more than all that out of convenience. So I still listen to Spotify more than anything, probably.
I think what really pushed me away from CDs was they started getting cheap. And they would get a little smudge on them, a little nick, and they would skip. And like that never happened when they first came out.
Right.
They were a sturdier disc. And
they were made different.
Yeah,
they were made, but the original ones were made, they were thicker too. They were just better made.
Yeah. And guess what? They do fade away. Now it seems like the quality you do lose quality, I think, now. If it's an old one, especially if it's a copy, say you copy something,
they degrade. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean they have said that, but I got CDRs. I got the first CDR I have. I remember, it was like my first like real band. We went into the studio. We cut like a 3-song demo, And I was like, okay, well, we're going to make the copies ourselves,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
So we bought the blank cassette tapes, like the 20-minute blank cassette tapes.
Yeah.
But what I did is the guy at the studio said he could actually make a CD, put it on CD. So that was like, this was
That
1997.
was a big deal back then.
That
Yeah.
was a big deal. So I remember I went to Tower. He said, yeah, just buy a blank CD. They sell them at Tower Records. It was like $25 for one blank CD.
Yeah, they were expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember I got that. I brought it to the studio and he put everything on the CD. So I used that as like the master.
Yeah.
I figured it's going to be superior, right?
Right,
And you know
right,
what? I still have it, and the quality didn't degrade or anything. It
Probably
still
because it was
sounds.
$25.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that could be. But I do have some other ones from the late 90s, early 2000s where people told me, oh yeah, this won't last 10 years, 15, 20 years. And
And
here
it's
it is.
fine,
It is
yeah.
20, 25 years. Still play, but not all of them. I mean,
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff I like downloaded off of like my friends' collections and stuff like that and made copies of. It just it's you could tell it just starts to sound like it's fading, like old cassette tape almost.
yeah.
Well, do you remember when they said when CDs first came out, you couldn't scratch them or nothing like that? You could definitely scratch
Oh
them.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've had worse luck with scratch CDs and scratch vinyl.
That's crazy. Wow. Now, if you ever notice, even back like video games, we'll say video games, CDs when they first came out, even cassettes, and I guess even 8-tracks, you notice everything was when they first put it out, it was always like in a bigger box or something. Like remember, CDs
big
came in the
packaging.
box.
Yeah.
Oh, those are
long-
worth a lot of money too if you have
Yeah.
them.
Are they really?
The long
Wow.
box.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
The long
Yeah.
boxes.
Take a look
Yeah.
out there. They bring in a little value if you haven't.
Wow.
I remember the clear long box ones.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing them at Kmart, like for Kiss Destroyer.
It was
They
a
would have the
double.
booklet on one
Yeah.
side and then the open
Yeah,
CD.
double
on the,
platinum.
Yeah,
I had a double platinum. It came like that. I had a Black Sabbath. We sold their souls, but it looked plain. It just looked plain. It just was the
Yeah.
it
It wasn't like the full box with the artwork. It was just
Right.
like a plastic
Yep.
transparent
All right,
package.
so let's get into this review of this record here. Invincible Shield. It's the 19th studio album from Judas Priest. It's produced by touring guitarist Andy Sneap, who also produced Firepower. And it's co-produced by Tom Allum, if that's how I'm saying it right.
Yes.
And the lineup is Rob Halford vocals, Glenn Tipton guitars, even though Glenn's dealing with an illness now, he's still involved. Richie Faulkner's guitars, Ian Hill bass guitar, Scott Travis, who's awesome, on drums. Definitely. I mean, Andy Sneap, I'm sure, played on some of it too, but he also did the production, mastering, mixing, engineering. With that, and the other engineer was Mark Gittins, if I'm saying that right. But yeah, man, Priest. I mean, I love this record. We're going to dig into it right now. We're going to go from our least favorite to our favorite as a whole, and we'll also talk about what we gave it personally. So we're going to start off with what comes in the number 11 on Invincible Shield for us. Sons of Thunder, Damo, what you got?
Yeah, this was a really good, hard driving song. We ranked it 11th, but it's not saying it's a bad song. I think this album overall is just like very consistent.
Yes.
Nothing really sticks out as like a bad song or like a great song. Everything it seems pretty.
There's no
pretty,
clunkers.
Even, yeah. So yeah, this is a really good tune. I gave it a 7.25 score, which
Nice.
was pretty much like on average for everything on this album that I gave it. So, but I liked it.
Mike D, Sons of Thunder.
Oh, wait a minute. Am I looking at the wrong list?
Number 11, Sons of Thunder.
Okay. Never mind. Here we go. Back. All right. Yeah, this is probably my least favorite on the album. But I mean, it wasn't terrible. I gave it a 7. Probably should have gave it a little bit lower, but it was at the end of the album and, just didn't have that hit as the other songs did.
Sons of Thunder was probably my least favorite too. I gave it a 6.5, which is my lowest score on the record. It comes in blistering. I mean, the sound on this record, it's big, it's clean, it's well produced. As Sons of Thunder, the song, it's okay. Guessing by the lyrics, it's probably about a motorcycle club or motorcycles or something like that. It's not bad. It's just my least favorite on the record, but it's still Still pretty blistering. It's still pretty damn good. Coming in at number 10, Giants in the Sky. What do you got, Damo?
I think this was my least favorite one. Probably just because I'm not really too crazy about the feel. It's kind of a little bit slower. Not like a ballad or anything. It's still pretty, it's pretty metal, but yeah, it just didn't really do too much for me. But I gave it like 6.25 out of 10.
Okay. Mike D, Giants in the Sky.
This one I really liked. Yeah, I liked how especially how like the middle went in. When they used acoustic guitars in it. It slowed up the pace a bit, and then boom, it comes back. Yeah, this was a good track, I thought.
Yeah, I gave Giants in the Sky a 7.25. A cool opening. It's got a Sabbathy kind of thing going on. The vocals are strong. I think the song's about like the fallen metal heroes. That's kind of about what it's, so the lyrics are, you can take it for what it is. There's a great classical guitar part in the song, which is unbelievable. It's really, really cool. The chorus is decent. It's not a bad tune, but that guitar part in the middle makes the song for me, that classical guitar part. Okay, coming in at number 9, Gates of Hell. What do you got, Damo?
The very intro of it, the first few seconds, reminds me like it could be like part of a new Ghost song or something. But I mean, it sounds like Priest, man. It's sounds like old classic Priest. And this whole album is probably like the most classic sounding album that they put out.
You know what's funny? I'm going to probably get into it somewhere in my notes, but they hit every era of Priest.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Yeah.
I hear Turbo, I hear Painkiller, I hear Sinner.
Yeah.
I can't believe how, and not like big familiar spots, just enough to go, whoo, that reminds me of Defenders of the Faith.
We're like, it seems like everything since Painkiller sounds like Painkiller.
Right.
But this one is good. Like,
this one's real good.
Like, just like what you said, it's pretty much it touches on every era of the band. So.
It's like, even if they didn't do it on purpose, wow, what a great, I wish Kiss would have done something like that.
Yeah, right.
Where they hit everything without it being overly trying to hit it. There's parts like intros that sound like, it's probably in my notes, that sound like Turbo. It could have been on the beginning of Turbo or something.
Right. I know the one you're talking about. The first song, I think.
Yeah. And I probably got it written down in the notes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dave.
Yeah, but this one I liked. Yeah, this was, I gave it a 7.15, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good tune.
Mike D, Gates of Hell.
Gave us 1 and 8, and I was with Dame on this one. I'm like, wow. I was like, this really reminds me of like old Priest. I'm like, this is pretty cool. I'm like, the album kind of it gets heavy, and then it slows up. It has a good pace to it.
Yeah. Okay, Gates of Hell, and it's like I said, I'm probably going to repeat myself a little bit here because it's in my notes. Gates of Hell, cool opening. I wrote down one thing about this record. It seems they revisit every sound they used in their career, and it just sounds a little more updated. But it's still enough to be current and cool. This song's, it's a cool, straightforward hard rock-a-rolla song. It's a rock-a-rolla. Just a solid good tune. I gave it a 7.5. Coming in number 8, Escape from Reality. What do you got, Damo?
This is another kind of like slower paced song, which I kind of like Judas Priest when they're more up tempo. So this one ranked a little bit lower. Gave it a 6.8. Good tune though, good chorus.
Mike D?
Yeah, see, I love the bass line in this. I like the whole verse in this. I felt like with the bridge and chorus, I just wanted more, and it just didn't deliver in that spot. I gave this a 7.5. I mean, it wasn't terrible.
No, listen. If a 6 is if a 5 is, if a 6 is a little bit better mediocre, a 7 something's fucking pretty damn good.
But I just wanted something a little more meatier after that bass line in that beginning. It just felt like it didn't deliver.
Okay, for me, Escape from Reality, I gave an 8.75. I ranked this pretty high. It's got a cool sludgy riff. The vocals are great. The pre-chorus is what made me give it a high ranking. That agony. Wow, that part's so damn good. The chorus was okay, but that pre-chorus, fucking great, man. The middle part is really cool. They go off in some cool little middle part on this one. Yeah, this one's a good one for me, especially the agony part in that pre-chorus. Great, man. It's really, really good. Number 7, As God Is My Witness. What you got, Demo?
Yeah, and this was like a Painkiller era song, real fast chugging and double bass. This is my second favorite track. I gave it a 7.95 scores. Really killer, like metal tune.
Nice. Mike D.
Yeah, it gave us a 7.5. And it felt like just like when the album was slowing up again, this one comes on and boom, hits you in the face.
Yeah, man.
Good, exactly. Painkiller sounding track on the album.
Yep. As God Is My Witness, I gave a 7.7. It's got a little Jakey Lee intro going on there, a little Bark at the Moon kind of feel to that. Power vocals, blistering drumming. I mean, Scott Travis, when he joined Judas Priest, it changed the band big time.
Kicking the ass, yeah.
Man, it really did. Very cool hook, good words. The chorus melody's decent. The cool middle part is good. The thing I like about this record, guitar-wise, it reminds me why I love them guitar guys from the 80s, especially the 80s. Man, even though like a lot of it strayed from the Guitar Hero kind of thing, this has got it, man. And when you hear it, it makes you smile. You go, yeah. Like it makes you really remember some of the good shit. And it's all over this record.
I think me and you listened to this like full together, and then I went home and I listened to it again yesterday. I was just going to go through it a little bit, and then I found myself just listening to the whole thing again.
It's got so much layers and so much cool stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
The guitar parts are great. I mean, Faulkner's unbelievable, man. I mean, it's really nice to hear real guitar solos, like them fucking classic metal fucking melodic fucking guitar solos. Okay, coming in at number 6, the title track, Invincible Shield. What do you got, Damo?
Yeah, this is like an early 80s Priest. Reminds me of like Freewheel Burning. Freewheel Burn. That kind of thing. I gave it 7 out of 10.
Nice. Mike D.
Yeah, gave it an 8. And really good power metal track, man. This just hits you in the face.
Yeah, I gave Invincible Shield an 8.25. It's got a nice little drum and guitar intro. It sounds like gunshots almost, the intro. It's Power Priest at its best. It's a banger, man. It's a mix for me. It's a mix between Painkiller, Sinner, Painkiller and Sinner, and then with like a Defenders of the Faith kind of chorus going on. So I hear all kinds of mixture of their career in a lot of these songs. So yeah, I kind of dug it. It was a fun song. Coming at number 5, The Serpent and the King. What you got there, Damo?
It's another hard driving metal song. Similar to the last one. Another fucking banger, I thought, man. This one. I gave this a did I give this one? 7.25 out of 10.
Good. Mike D.
That high Halford vocal, I love it.
Absolutely. Mike D, what you got?
Yeah, this was another 8 for me. And this was like the 3rd song on the album. And those first 3 songs on the album just come out. It just hits you over the head. It's metal the way it should be. And just the bridge on this one's kind of crazy too. It reminds you of like stuff they did on their like early 80s albums.
Yep. The Serpent and the King, I gave an 8.2. Great song title. What an awesome song title, I thought. It comes in rocking. Rob's blasting his vocals through the whole thing, powering through. The verse is okay, but when it gets to that chorus, it sticks with you. It really does. And that little guitar dive that I guess Faulkner does, it's really cool. It's a really cool tune. I definitely like it. That chorus, The Serpent and the King, fucking great, man. Really, really good. Coming in at number 4, Trial by Fire. What you got, Demo?
Yeah, another one of the slower ones that, like I mentioned, I like the more up-tempo ones, but so good song. I gave it 6.95 out of 10.
Okay. Mike D.
Yeah, another one I really liked. I like the slower stuff too, though, man.
It reminds you of Fight a little bit.
Yeah, it's. I like the cadence of his vocals on this one. It was different.
Yep. Trial by Fire, I gave an 8.8. I gave it a pretty high score. Super cool intro. It could have been on turbo. The little vocal melody in the background that when it starts off is really, really neat. Great guitar work. The verse, the melody, the real cool pre-chorus in it. It's a well-written song. And there's, like I said, through the whole record, there's layers all over. There's all cool kind of little guitar things happening and vocal things happening. Yeah, Trial by Fire, 8.8 for me. Coming in
The
number
pre-chorus, I love it. It sounds like the pre-cum.
Yeah, exactly.
The pre-chorus. Here it comes.
Coming in number 3, Devil in Disguise. What do you got, Damo?
What did I give this one? This is another slower one, but it's got more of a. I like the groove in this one, so
You gave it a 7.
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
and it's got a good chorus too.
Yep. Mike D, Devil in Disguise.
Gave this one an 8.5, man. Really like this one. See, I'm more into their slower stuff now, man. It's just when they hit that area, so good.
Devil in Disguise, I gave an 8.7. I gave it another real high score. Kind of has an Skid Row guitar opening part, which I thought was
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it's definitely kind of like Skid Row.
Little monkey business.
Yeah, it's got that feel. Rob sings over some cool chugging guitar parts, what I thought was really good during the verse. But the pre-chorus, man, is so damn good. Same thing. Man, the pre-choruses are better than the choruses on this record. The pre-chorus is so damn good. It's so melodic. Yeah, that's the money part for me is the pre-chorus. Coming in at number 2, Crown of Horns. What do you got there, Damo?
Yeah, probably the most commercial sounding one, I think. I'm a sucker for the lighter verses, and then it kicks in. It's got a good chorus. I'll give it 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's one of your higher ones, right? Mike D, Crown of Horns.
Oh yeah, this has to be a hit. I didn't even look to see what was released on this album, but this had to be a hit. I'm sorry, yeah. This had hit written all over it, man. I give this an 8.6. This is probably my highest on the album. And it really, I could see a band like Ghost doing something like this one.
Yeah,
very Ghost feel to it, man. Killer track.
Crown of Horns, I gave an 8.4. The guitar intro reminds me of Van Halen a little bit. Kind of sounds like a little Van Halen-ish to me. Kind of ballady, right? It's kind of like a ballad. It's just a real good song with a solid chorus, cool melodic guitar overlays. It's a good tune. It's got good lyrics. Yeah, this definitely has a commercial feel to it, and yeah, it's a radio song, and it was one of the singles they did release. All right, coming in at number 1, Panic Attack. Damo, what you got?
Yeah, this is classic, man. Like the intro reminds me of something from Turbo. Yeah. And then when it kicks in the verse, it's like a classic Priest. Like could be on Screaming for Vengeance or something. But this is my favorite song on the record. I gave it 8 out of 10. Nice.
Mike D.
Great way to start out the album with this one, man. It just, I give this an 8. Just hit you across the face, over the head.
Yep. Panic Attack was my highest score. Also, I gave it a 9. It's like Painkiller 2.0 for me. I love it. Great first song to open the record with. The intro has like that turbo kind of thing going on. The song's a banger. It's a pump-up song. It's a song that if you're driving, man, you're pumped. It pumps
Panic
you up.
Attack. Panic Attack.
Panic Attack. Panic Attack. That's fucking. And I'm not usually big on those kind of choruses, but it really works for Priest, Yeah, it gets you going, man. So before we give our little synopsis on the whole record itself, overall we gave it a 7.75 with all three of our numbers combined, which is a damn high score these days, I think. Anything over a 7 is pretty damn good. This is, getting into the real good. Like an 8's real good. For my overall personal ranking for the album was an 8. I gave it an 8. It's a really good, solid record. The band sounds amazing. Everything sounds big. Rob's voice sounds better than ever. The band sounds amazing. And Scott Travis, man, I mean, what a difference. He's been in the band for a long time now, but what a difference that drumming makes. Their power, a lot of power. This band gets better and better with age. If you would have asked me, back in the day, I would have been like, I'm a total Maiden fan. Maiden over Priest, definitely. There's no, it wasn't close, from like the 80s to like, the 90s, early 90s. But if you ask me now, within the last 2 decades, I'd be like, I like the Priest stuff better than the Maiden stuff.
Their albums are, I think their albums are definitely better. If you're a classic fan, they deliver.
Yeah, I think Priest got better. Not that Maiden got worse. It's just their songs aren't as memorable.
They changed. Yeah. The Maiden doesn't write 3-4 minute songs anymore. It's all
epic.
It's all like epic 8, 9, 10 minute songs.
I'm okay with one epic song on there.
Yeah, which they would always do.
They would
always have like that 8, 9 minute song, but
right. But we don't need 3 or 4 of them.
or more.
Yeah.
But
it waters it down. So yeah, like I said, to use Mike's line, this album's muscle metal. I got to give credit to Mike on that line. Muscle metal. Priest, Rob Halford, 72 years old or something like that, and wow,
bring in the muscle.
Dame, what's your overview on the whole thing?
Yeah, I think top to bottom, it's really, really consistent. I mean, everything was like in the 7 range for me, 7 out of 10. Everything was like really, really good. And it's definitely like the most classic sounding out of anything they've done the past, 20 years,
Yeah, absolutely. Mike D.
Yeah, this was a band that I didn't get into until later. Like I always not that I look at them as hokey or nothing, but I always kind of look back at the stuff like Breaking the Law and I'm like, oh, they're not a joke band, but they had a couple little, cute hits here. And then all of a sudden it's like you're starting to hear something. I started hearing them later on. I'm like, wow, they're really powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like the Breaking the Laws and all that was okay for me. I like a lot of stuff from Screaming for Vengeance. And there's I even like some stuff on Turbo. I mean, I like Priest in general, but there were certain songs that hit. But when Painkiller came out, that changed my whole view on them.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been, besides the 2 they did without Halford, they've been pretty consistent with him, as it came back. So yeah, that's our review for the main record. Now we're just going to talk about the couple bonus tracks that are additional on the deluxe edition. And, there's 3 of them here. Fight for Your Life. Dan, what you think about that one?
I like them all. They don't really stick out though. I can't really give you.
Right. I felt the same way. I felt that if I changed Sons of Thunder for one of these 3 instead, it would be interchangeable. It wouldn't matter. It's about the same. They're all about a 6.5, a 7, pretty consistent around there. Like not great enough that I go, why did they leave this one off? It probably made sense. How about you, Mike?
I would have threw the Lodger in there, man. That's it's a cool track. Yeah, I like the Lodger.
That was my least favorite.
But the Lodger had that slow, kind of weird feel to it. I really didn't get too much chance to listen to it or listen to the lyrics in it, but it definitely sounded like somebody seeking out revenge, and I guess they're staying at a lodge and hunting down their victim. That's all I can gather. It might not be what it really is, but it sounded like a really cool song on the first listen.
And the other song, Vicious Circle, was okay. It was a decent song. 6.5 to 7. Not good enough to really change out one of the other songs. It was just cool extra stuff that probably was the right choice of not making the full record. So that's our Judas Priest Invincible Shield review. I will see you guys next week. I got you.
Okay.